Thank you for joining us. This is Paul Wilson.
And Chris Zemke.
And you're listening to Diesel Performance Podcast. Guys, for the last several weeks, we have been stuck at home with this shelter-at-home order, but we're still making the show happen at least as often as we can. So we've been trying to do 2 a week. Chris, these have been fun.
Yeah, they've been a good time. It's crazy to see how receptive people are to, want to get on the show with all the, listener rides that you've been doing, and, getting a couple other interviews and a couple of other, theory type podcasts put into the mix. We did a research one last week. We did the, comparison of the 3 trucks a few weeks back. So hopefully we can get a couple more of those under our belts under this time. But it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, the research ones, I think you and I always have this, like, we have a chance to learn something. So those, I think, for us personally, are really exciting to get into. But we also know that they're labor intensive and there's just only so much we can do. Calibrated Power, home of Duramax Tuner, our title sponsor, we've been busy at our full-time jobs. We've been busy in the real world, right?
Yeah.
So this 15%
Absolutely.
off on EasyLink sale going on this month, the month of May 2020. Great time for you guys to save 15% on Power Stroke tuning, LML tuning, Cummins tuning, EcoBoost tuning. Really, most of our key trucks and the key kind of groups of people that we work with, you guys are all saving 15% off on your tuning right now.
It's a big savings. When you look at the grand scheme of things, you're saving almost a couple $100 right off the bat. To get all the tuning that you read about, love about, trans tuning, engine tuning, switch on the fly. So if you have any questions, guys, call over at the shop, or you can reach me direct. My email is cmke@duramaxtuner.com.
Absolutely. Hey, Chris, I know one of the other things you deal a lot with are the injectors from Exergy. What do you think is the most common type of injector that you sell?
I probably would say, a majority of my clientele is going to be like stock replacement stuff. So like their Sportsman series. I would say next in line is going to be like something subtle, like 100 horsepower over stock. That guy that's maybe trying to get to 650 to 700 horsepower.
You're such a Cummins guy.
I know. And then the least common, I would say, is when you start getting into the big body injectors, which I do multiple sets of those as well. But there's, for as many trucks as you see on the road, there's not 1,000 horsepower truck every time you turn around, or a 1,500 horse truck every time you turn around. So, one of the things that I really like about their injectors, whether you go mild or wild, is the consistency. And, one thing I want to discuss is guys will buy like a Reman injector and they go, well, it's a Reman Bosch. And then depending on the source of that injector, they might have inconsistency, and they might start to have premature issues stemming from the injector themselves. One of the things that shines with Exergy is they build them in a set. So when you buy a set of injectors through them, they build them as a set of 6 or 8. They balance and flow rate them as a set of 6 or 8. And then they sell them in that same set of 6 or 8 with flow rate sheets and balance sheets to show how those injectors did amongst that set. They're not mass producing a set of injectors and then pulling 8 off the shelf saying, okay, these are good, ship them. So, I contest that to a lot more on the quality control. And I think that's, one of the many reasons where, the consistency is going to be there and where they shine.
Absolutely correct. And another one who's top notch when it comes to quality and consistency is the fit and finish and the products that we get from WC Fab. Guys, we're talking about them all the time. And it's because we use them on our trucks, right? Same as Exergy. Like, these are the companies we work with. These are the groups of guys we work with. Worley has been on a mad dash releasing new products here as of late. So definitely keep an eye out on the Facebook page over at Worley Custom Fabrication, or WC Fab, I think would be an easier way for you to find it. Man, their intakes, their coolant tanks, their intercooler pipes, their S300, S400 twin turbo kits, S400 twin turbo kits, traction bars. We've tried it all. At some point, we've driven the truck or we've bought the parts, and we've worked with them, right? I think we're pretty much through the catalog, right, Chris?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I just saw on their Instagram page is they have it's been out for a little while, but they're starting to advertise it and push it more. But it's a relocation bracket for the fast pump. there'll be times where I'll get guys on the phone where they're a little apprehensive as to where the fast mounts their pump in factory fitment. So
Hmm.
this relocates the pump to the middle of the truck behind the tank, or I'm sorry, right in front of the tank, and tucks it up inside of between the frame rails.
Oh man,
So
that's nice.
it's little things like that that really make the truck unique. It offers a better fit finish, makes things a little bit more accessible when you need to service. So, if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. It's definitely pretty cool.
That's right. And speaking of checking out some cool stuff, I had a chance to bring back, God, I want to say one of our very first call-in episodes, one of our very first listeners to ever join the show came back. I think this is his third appearance, so we'll call him an all-star. It's time to hear from Ryan Karbaum and a little bit about where he's at in diesel performance these days. Guys, this is my new favorite part of the show. And from what we've been reading on the forums and on the pages, this is your favorite part of the show. We're diving into doing the listener ride reviews. Today we have on a real OG. I believe our first ever listener ride review was done way back. God, I want to say 2016 or some shit. Ryan the Irish Car Bomb. Ryan, how the hell are you?
How's it going, man? I'm doing pretty good. God damn.
It has been too long, my friend. It's been too long. Yeah, shit. We've already asked you in the past what got you started in diesel performance. Remind our listeners today, how'd you get started in diesel performance? Then run us right up. What the hell are you doing now?
Well, I started when I was a kid, 2005. My dad bought a 3500 Dodge, and shoot, back then I was like 7 or 8, loved it. He kept it stock all the way till I got it, and I got it off him after graduated high school, and it had 300 and some thousand miles on it. And then I just year later tore it apart, rebuilt the motor. Now it's almost 900 horsepower with 450,000 on it, and working on restoring a 12 valve.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
All right, so let's dive into it. Run us through your first truck. What all did you do to it? What was that build like?
Oh well, at first, it's just I'm gonna get a Smarty. At first, it was high school. We're gonna make it cheap. We're gonna make it cheap and fast, and it's gonna blow smoke. But now, shoot, second gen swap on it. Oh god damn, I can't remember my turbo size. 4677, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. 100 horse sticks. I did bump up. I got me some MM3 custom tuning. I'm gonna tell you right now, love it. And then it's got Air Dog on it, 150. Yeah. I do have a Sportsman pump. I'm pretty much an XG Sportsman pump. Pretty much tapped out on everything right now. But a couple years ago, rebuilt the motor. Pistons, rods, all that good jazz. Cam, got the head done. Just didn't get it port and polished. And then studs, all the good jazz. And now I'm deciding whether I want to go nitrous or just go ahead and just spend the money and get some more go fast parts to go over 1,000 horsepower on this one.
Hell yeah. How do you use the truck?
I used to use it every day, all day for everything. And about a year or two ago, I was just like, man, I gotta get something else to ride around. So I bought, I've had a truck here or there, just a beater to ride around in. And most time it sits now. I hate to say it. I love to drive the damn thing. I put a stack in it. That was the worst decision I ever made. I just took it out. People think they're cool. Yeah, they're cool until you sit in the cab.
Why did it suck?
Dude, imagine Motley Crue behind your head just driving for like 45 minutes an hour. I drove it to Myrtle Beach with a stack in it. Fuck. Sorry. Oh my god, dude. It was the worst decision I've ever made.
Oh.
Stacks are cool until you gotta ride in it. Stacks are cool until you ride in it.
Yep.
But
yep.
I couldn't do it anymore.
Looks good in the parking lot.
It does. Jeez, but now I'm starting to drive it more and more now because I bought this other 12 valve, so now I bought another 12 valve, so now I'm try and make that one go. Sell another truck. Sell one truck and pay for another truck. You know how it goes.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about some bad decisions I'm sure you're making around the 12 valve. What are you doing to it?
Yeah. Right now, well, I bought it. It didn't have a bed on it. That's the only thing it didn't have a bed on. It's got about 200,000 miles on it. It's an automatic, but it's a '93. From what I understand, I haven't seen anybody just fooled with it. I hope it's untampered. So I'm not too much good in the mechanical part of the Cummins, so I wasn't fooling with the pump. But right now, I'm redoing the whole frame on it, new brake lines. I'm redoing it head to toe. I'm gonna try my best to restore it. I'm balling on a budget right now. Times are tough, but trying to restore it the best I can with what I got. New doors, all the good jazz, and then once I get it going on the road, I'm gonna put a flatbed on it, and then once I get on the road, I'm thinking, pump and
Sure.
Lift pump injectors, all the good jazz, turbo, give her a little more juice, But right now, it's a restoration body build.
What do you think has been harder in your experience?
I only bought it for $2,000, so.
Oh shit, that's a steal. But no, what I was asking is, what do you think has been harder in your experience? Is it doing the body work and the restoration work, or is it diagnosing and fixing a problem on a running truck, or is it like diving into like a big job, like doing a full engine rebuild in your garage? Like, what's been the most challenging?
When I did my engine rebuild, I did the smart way. I took pictures, labeled everything, laid everything out. First major job I ever did. Did it by myself. Just right out of high school, didn't know what the hell I was doing. Just thought it'd be a great idea to tear the motor apart. But I took pictures of the motor, everything. Honestly, that wasn't that bad a problem. I can't stand body work. I hate doing the body work. I'm sandblasting and grinding the frame on this thing, and rust is flying everywhere. I'm wearing a mask. All this. I hate it. I can't stand it. I'll do compared to everything else I've done. The body work is, some people might not think it's bad, but when it comes down to like grinding the frame, the sandblasting the frame, and pulling the old nasty carpet out, I can't stand it.
I'm right there with you, man. And it's those final details that always drive me nuts about how it's got to look, how smooth it's got to be, like all that little, like, oh, you missed a speck of rust. That shit drives me nuts. I'm right there with you, man. I have no interest. I think that and wiring are probably the two worst things I could think to work on.
Oh, yeah, I can't. You think it's simple. I can't. I hate wiring. Power and ground. All I know is power and
ground. Well, hey, the 12 valve's the right place to go for you for that. No question there. What do you think? What modifications have you made to your trucks where you were like, man, this is a night and day difference? What was the number one upgrade you've ever made to a diesel truck?
Oh, man. I'm going to have to say that MM3 tuning. I'm not trying to plug it, but damn. It's so nice to have it on the fly. I'm not trying to plug it, but damn. And it really wakes it up. And I got my tune set where it burns so clean. It puffs a little bit, but she doesn't smoke at all now, which I love.
Yeah.
But that thing the tuning,
Custom tuning's hard to beat.
Oh, you're good. That's
the thing of it. No problem. Custom tuning's hard to beat. That is a reality of it. It is awesome that you're running calibrated powers tuning, but really, I always tell guys, like, if you go to any reputable custom tuner, even if it's not us, that's probably going to be your best bang for your buck. It's hard to get around that. One of the things that's also hard is trying to figure shit out by yourself. I know you did the engine build by yourself, just off of your cell phone, going back and looking over what you had to do. But I'm sure as time has gone on, you found other places to get help with diesel performance. Where do you go to get help? Where do you go to learn about diesel?
Man, honestly, I used to get diesel power all the time, everything like that. That's what started me out, high school, get my monthly diesel powers. And then I slowly just started looking on the internet and everything. And then I come across here locally, there's a shop here locally, good friend of mine owns it, and he I tell you one thing, he shoots you straight. He might hurt your feelings in the process, but he'll tell you what it needs. And and he'll tell well, I like him because he doesn't BS you. He doesn't just try to sell you parts. He'll be like, you wanted to make it go fast, or put this on it. You wanted to pull, put this on it. I ain't gonna bullshit you. And he's a local guy here. He lives like half hour from me, and I go in there all the time, bullshit with him, hang out. And but I mean, a lot of it is just the internet. It's just reading on the internet. Honestly, you can't believe all of it, but if you read enough, I mean, shit.
I'm bound to find something true eventually, right?
Hell yeah! If enough people say it's true, it must be true. You got to go with it.
I like the point of bringing up of going to your local shop. I think that's a really important thing to remember is that, hey man, like you said, the internet is a great place. There is good info out there. Yeah, you got to sift through the bullshit, but you can find the stuff if you're smart. But there are times where you're going to get jammed up, and there's times where you just want to talk to somebody and have them look at your truck for real and give you something definitive. And your small local, diesel enthusiast performance-based shop, or even just diesel repair shop, usually there's a ton of knowledge with those guys. Go to them, ask them, get involved. We find more often than not, your local shop can get most of your problems taken care of, if not all of them.
Oh yeah.
How about plans for the future? Where are we going with this build?
Well, with the 05, shoot, I want to go to 1,000 horsepower, but pretty much, I need a new pump. Might send the injectors out, get them to 150s, or 100% or something like that, and then I'll be okay on turbo. But if I want to get to 1,000, I might have to juice her up a little more. I'm just debating whether I want to do it the easy way or the right way. The easy way is just shoot it with nitrous. Fucking just spray it. She'll make it. But I'm not a big fan of nitrous. I just don't like it myself. But shit. But with this 12 valve, I want to make it a sweet looking, black, all flat black dually flatbed pushing. I'd be happy with 300 or 400 horsepower, which is relatively easy to do on those things. Just something, give a little more juice.
Sure.
But the big one is, I'm hoping to hit 1,000 here shortly.
Hell yeah. Well, good luck to you. Any advice you want to share with our listeners?
Oh, man, honestly, if you're just getting in this thing, do your research. I'm gonna tell you, do the research, read about it. I know when I was coming out of high school, first thing I want to do, we got to blow smoke. And, that was almost 10 years ago. Times have changed now. I'm going to tell you, nobody likes that shit anymore. Well, I was in high school. When I was in high school, shit, this is mid, 2000s. Everybody loved that shit. Now it's just obnoxious. But, I mean, just do your research. If you're going to do it once, do it right. I made the mistake when I pulled my motor out. I should have just went right to where I wanted to go. Instead, I bought some parts, I got to 500, but then I bought some more, and then they got tapped out. If you're shooting for a goal, make sure you get parts that you can that aren't tapped out. Like if you're going to go for 850 horsepower, put some 100% in there. You can always turn it down. You can always turn the tune down, and then you still got more left in it. That's what I learned real quick. Because now I'm tapped, and I got to spend all the money over again and redo it all over again if I want to get bigger. So, lesson learned.
That's right, man. Well, that's good advice. Ryan, I really appreciate you carving out some time and talking with our listeners. Guys, if you want to be on the show, jump on over to our Facebook page, Diesel Performance Podcast, or jump into our group, Fans of Diesel Performance Podcast. You can enter in, or you can fill out the form and select a time and day that works for you. For today, this has been Paul Wilson, and thank you so much for listening. You're such a Cummins guy.
I know. And then the least common